Hi guys, this is Video Studio, and in today's video I'm going to show you the basics of After Effects. At the end of the video you should be able to do this. People have been saying After Effects is very complicated, After Effects is difficult, they don't know how the interface works, everything like damn. But in today's video I'm going to make After Effects very simple for you guys. Without wasting much time, let's get into After Effects. So we are in After Effects. The first thing that you are going to see is new project and open project. So what we are going to do, we are going for new project. We click on it. So here we have new composition and new composition from footage. So we click here, new composition. To name your composition. This is the standard size of a TV screen or screens. This is a standard size. That's a 1920 by 1080p. From this side, I always change it. This is the frame rate. This is how images are calculated. I always change it to 30 frame rate because I want a smooth motion in my work. And here the duration, it depends on you. You can make it 30 seconds, you can make it 1 hour. But I always go for 30 seconds or 20 seconds. Let's make it 20 seconds. And here, there's a background color. You can change it to any color that you want. You can change it to red, anything that you want over here. But I always go for that color. Then I'll press OK. So our composition is created. So we have our interface over here. Everything is clumsy and stuff, but I'm going to make everything simple for you. So on top here we have the tool parts. This is the tool parts, and here this side, there's your project manager. This is where you import all your footages to, all the things that you want to work with, either PNG, sound, anything that you want to work with. This is where you import it. You can just drag and drop. You can just drag and drop anything from here to this side. This is the timeline. Here is the timeline. Anything that you bring it to this place is going to show it in the form of bars. So we call this place a timeline. This is what? This is your preview monitor. Here is your preview monitor. Anything that you are going to do is going to show over here. Anything that you bring it here is going to show over here. This part is the effects panel. This is where all your effects are being kept. So any effect that you have it in mind, you just have to click on the bar button. If you can't find your effects panel, now you just have to come to where the Windows panel here and search for what? Effects and presets. Check it. It's going to appear over here. Any effect that you want to use, you can search it over here. So let's go to the tool part. So the tool part, we have the first tool, which is the selection tool. The selection tool works like your mouse pointer. This mouse pointer we use for selecting anything over here. To be able to understand or to be able to use After Effects, you don't have to know all the tools. You get it? You don't have to know all the tools. You have to know some tools that is going to help you to do your works. So as you see inside, we have what? Our shape tool over here. This is for creating shapes. Under it, we have so many shapes over here. We have the star, polygon, ellipse, rounded rectangle, and you have the rectangle itself. This is what the pen tool. The pen tool is used for also creating shape, but it's used for creating what? Freehand shape. When you select it like this, you can draw any shape that you want, and you can change the color as you want. The pen tool is also used for masking. Don't forget that. One of my favorite tools in After Effects is the pen tool. I really use it a lot for masking, creating shapes, for tracing things and stuff. We have the text tool over here. For writing text, anything that I want to do concerning text, you have to use the text tool. We also have the brush tool, the clone stamp tool. We will go further as you learn further. We also have the eraser tool. We have this is the roto brush tool. It works like AI. If you want to remove a subject from a background, this is the tool that we use as the roto brush tool. So in today's video, as I'm showing you the basics, you have to do some simple keyframing. We are going to import our projects into After Effects. So you can just drag and drop, or you can just right click then import. So I have my reel over here. This is my shopping reel. I'm going to drag and drop it here. I'm going to bring it on the timeline, so it's going to appear over here. It seems my shopping reel is too big for my composition, so I'm going to reduce the size of it. And to reduce the size of it, there's an arrow over here. This arrow, when you click it on it, you are going to see transform. Click on that small arrow over here. You're going to see anchor point, position, scale, and rotation, opacity. So this thing can make movements in your object. So I'm going for scale because it's too big. So I'm going to make it small to fit in my composition. So I'll come here to the scale part, then I'll reduce it. I think this is okay. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to create a background for this. And to create a background, you can just right click here. This is the simplest way. You can just right click here, come to new, and come to solid. And create it like this. Then you can choose any background that you want. I'm going for something like orange, yellowish something. So you can just copy the code over here. So right now our background is on top of It's on top of our view. So I have to what? Bring it down here. The next thing we are going to do is that we are going to give a gradient to our orange background. So I'll select the orange background like this. I'll come here to my effects panel, this panel. I'll come and search for ramp. I'll put on gradient ramp on it. I'll just drag and drop on it like this. So now you have black and white. You see these two nodes over here? I'll bring this one here like this. And I'll bring this one to here like this. So now we are going to change the colors over here. You see, so when I click here, I'll go for something yellow and I'll press OK. And I'll click on the second one to like this and I'll go for something like orange. I think I like this. I really love it. And I'll press OK. So now we are done with our background. So what you have to do is that you have to lock it. And there's a lock over here, this lock. When you click, it's going to lock it for you. And this eye, when you click, it's going to off and on the background. Let's do the same thing for the hue. You see, it's used for what? Switching off and on. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to add my text. So I'll come here to my text part and I'll add my text. Let's say big sale. Now press enter then. So whenever you use the text like this, it's going to give you what? Text property over here. If you can't see it, you just have to come to window, then you come to character, check character. It's going to give you what? Text property. So I'm going to change my font style to something nice. I think this is going to make sense. You see over here, I'm going to increase it so that there will be a space between the big and the sale. You just have to be tweaking big sale like this. I'm going to change the color. So I'll highlight it again and then I'll change the color to something like there. This is cool though. So the next part we are going to look at is what? The keyframing part. Now we have our composition. This is our composition, but we have to add movement to our composition. So the next part we are going to do is that we are going to add keyframing. To add keyframing to it, let's switch our big sail. Let's switch it off by pressing the eye over here, and let's go to the hot. Let's select the hot, the shopping hue. So I'll select the shopping hue like this. Then come to the drop down over here. I'm going to keyframe on what? On position. In our animation, we want it to end like this. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click the stopwatch over here. This is the stopwatch. And I'll move this. This is the time indicator. Let's say 2 seconds. Then I'll bring this keyframe this place. It means in our animation is going to end like this. But how do you want it to start? So I'll bring my time indicator at the beginning, which is 0 seconds. And I want it to what? Move out of the frame. So when you drag it to this side, it's going to move out of the frame. So now let's click on play or space bar. So now we've added a movement to our view, but it's very slow. So what we are going to do is that we are going to select the two of the keyframe like this. We are going to highlight and select it and press F9. So let's see the effect of it. Now it's a bit fast, but to add more ease to our keyframe, we have to highlight the two like this. Click on this thing, the graph editor over here. Make sure you are in edit speed graph. Highlight one of the points over here and do what I'm doing and play back. I think this is cool. Click it back to come back to your normal state. So what we are going to do is that we are going to on our text back. So this is how it looks like. But let's animate our text too on the scale property. So we select our text, then come down to the property part. So we have text and transform. We are going to what? We are going to transform. Then come to scale, the scale part. Then we push our time indicator. When the hue reaches here, we will click on our scale, and at the beginning we will take it to what? To 0. So this is how it looks like. So now everything is coming at the same time. So what we have to do next is that we have to add some offset to our animation. You get it? It shouldn't come at the same time. So when our hue is about to land, it's about to end like this, then our text will appear. So I'll bring when you push the keyframe closer like this, it comes very fast. But when you stretch it, it becomes very slow. The one thing that you have to notice, you see how slow the text is. Right now we are bringing it closer. Then we are going to time it. When it reaches here, we will highlight our keyframe and everything will be uniform as you see it. You can just bring it. So now we have something smooth, but it seems our text is delaying a bit, so you have to move it to the beginning of it so that we can get something nice. Now we are done with our keyframing. So what you are going to do is that I'm going to show you how to render this. To render this, you have to come to what? You have to press what? Control M. Control M. That's the shortcut. Control M. Or you can go here, come to add to render queue, which is Control M. So all is the same. Come to lossless. Come here and come change it to QuickTime. You are done. And come here, then come and specify where you want to render to. So let's say I want to render to this place. Then change the name. Just click on render and you just render. So guys, if this tutorial is helpful, kindly share to other guys who want to learn After Effects. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Any comment that you want to leave it in the comment section. Let me know how you guys see this tutorial. So the name remains Studio. Adios.